Hello there. Good morning. Happy Monday on this President's Day Monday, February 19th, 2024. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett. I'm your host, Bridgett Ellison. Hope you are keeping warm and dry. It has been quite the weekend we are coming off of, and meteorologist Candace Campos is standing by in the Pinpoint Weather Center with more. When I walked out this morning, I sort of begrudgingly grabbed my umbrella, Candace, but the good thing is I won't need it later.
I promise we are going to take a drier turn by the lunchtime hour. I know everyone thought, oh, by Monday it was going to be over. No, we held on to those scattered showers for a few more hours this morning, and we'll continue as we'll show you the radar in just a few seconds. But I know the big talk across Central Florida, whether you're into racing or not, is the Daytona 500. You hate for Central Florida to be in the spotlight and then rain completely just destroying plans both Saturday and Sunday. So we have the Xfinity race on Saturday. We had the Daytona 500 scheduled for Sunday, and both had to be pushed to a doubleheader today. So kind of exciting, historic, but I know a lot of people
We had it coming.
I know, I hate saying that, but yeah,
Well,
we
they
really
have weather
did.
insurance now for these events, right?
I mean, they should. And Steve just mentioned that one of his buddies is out there today, and he said they brought extra trucks and extra blowers from out of town.
Oh, wow.
To try to dry the track as much as possible. But you know what? Let's take an moment right now. Speaking of Daytona Beach, let's take it to the maps. Here's a live look right now. Daytona Beach. There's a little break from the rain. We still have a lot of cloud cover, and there's rain still in the distance that's going to be coming through Central Florida, but at least we're starting that drying trend. I just love that little pocket of sunshine right there. We're at 52 degrees right now. The breeze out of the northwest at about 8 miles per hour. So let's talk about the track. Today on the track, rain chances are going to hold in the forecast till about the lunchtime hour. Now, rain chances are going down compared to what we dealt with Saturday and Sunday, but there will be lingering showers in that area till about 11. Then we'll start to dry out. So the Daytona 500, we're looking good. I have no concerns that we're not going to be able to start the race and end the race well. It's the Xfinity that's going to be it's going to be a little dicey because we have just a few hours to go, and officials, as Mark Lehman was saying, it takes a few hours to dry the track, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get hours before 11 a.m. to dry that track. So we'll, of course, keep our fingers crossed. And the cool thing is, if you get tickets for one, you get to stay for the other, or vice versa. So if you have the opportunity to get out there, at least getting worth your money. Live radar, you can see in Daytona Beach, we're kind of in a little dry pocket, but scattered showers continuing to move in along the I-4 corridor, entering into Volusia County, off and on scattered showers still across Central Florida. It's not completely green like it was yesterday and the day before, but we are certainly looking for the potential of drier weather settling in starting around lunchtime. Out the door right now, we're in the 40s and 50s, so not only is it cold, but it's also rainy across the area, and we're also tacking on the breeze to it as well. So it's more of a rain jacket kind of day, not umbrella, because the wind will be coming kind of sideways at times out of the northwest, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We did see some gusts today, Bridgett, though, up to about 20 to 25. So certainly a blustery start to the day. But once we start clearing out the skies into tonight, that cold air will settle in. It will be dry. It will be clear, allowing temperatures to get down into the 30s and 40s in many spots. So down to 37 tonight in Ocala. This is going to be kind of the coldest point of the day, of the week, I should say, as we will be waking up into the mid 40s. All right, so we're looking at the President's Day forecast. Temperatures are going to still stay well below average. We're into the mid 60s. Again, rain chances will stick around till about lunchtime, and then I promise the sun will come out. Not tomorrow.
There we go.
It will be out tomorrow, but it will be out later on today. We'll see a lot more sunshine. Temperatures will be rebounding back into the upper 60s, low 70s, near to below average throughout the rest of the week. And then we'll bring back a chance of rain come Friday, but it won't wash out your weekend. So if you have a lot of plans that you wanted to get done this weekend and you couldn't do it this weekend ahead, Saturday, Sunday, looking fantastic. So it's just unfortunate. It's the Daytona 500. Last time I think we had to move the Daytona 500 was in 2020, and that was just one race. This is two different races, doubleheader. So I don't know if the Xfinity gets delayed a little bit. Is there a certain wiggle room that it can get delayed? If not, does it get moved? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
not sure.
I'm going to check in with Mark in a few minutes and see what's going on, what he's been able to, because he's out there and we're going to check in with him live. So we'll see if he has any new nuggets on what's going on out there. But like you said, they brought in the extra trucks. That's all you can do. So
yeah, I mean, fingers crossed that we can get a good fun race out of it, and fans still come out. I mean, it's President's Day, so I know a lot of people are off of work and school. So hopefully we can salvage at least one day out of our long holiday weekend.
Well, thank you, Candace. It's not your fault,
No, listen, I warned you guys, and I planned accordingly. I watched a lot of movies, got caught up with my laundry.
Yes.
We did some baking.
I mean, it was one of those nice weekends to be in and get some of those to-dos done inside. So those are good too.
I mean, sometimes Mother Nature has that way of like, ooh, look at the nice, pretty weekend weather. And you're like, oh God, I just want to sit down and not do anything. But the weather's so nice out there. We need to go do it. Right. And then this weekend we didn't have
guilt-free,
so
right?
We had a reason. Exactly.
All right. Thanks, Candace.
You're welcome.
All right, let's check in on the roads. And Trooper Steve is outside now in his truck. The results won. We had a little bit of a mess out there this morning. How are things?
We've kind of cleared up for the most part. I figured it was going to be a rainy start to the day with President's Day. I didn't expect the crashes that we had, but most of our crashes from this morning have cleared out. We can knock out traffic first, and then we can talk about what we're going to do today. DOT cam showing out here in Seminole County. This is Department of Transportation camera. I-4 in Seminole, right around the 103. So normally westbound here, we're backed up. Right now, we're good to go. But out by the attractions, it looks like everybody's headed out towards Disney and the Universal area bright and early coming in from Polk County. You can see that delay out there. The good thing is no heavy traffic, but we're solid. 26 minutes, Osceola Parkway to Colonial. Lake Mary, normally the drive times are switched at this hour, but we're still sitting nice just because it is a holiday. Other drive times, 417 northbound, about 10 minutes from 408 to Redbug, not bad. Turnpike, we are a little slow this morning, but you can see the delays out by the attractions in those solid red areas. I do have a crash in Kissimmee. Very hot spot, not a hot pocket like I talked about this morning on air. Man, that was funny. Orange Blossom Trail at Pleasant Hill. So Osceola County, you guys do have school today, so you are seeing some of those delays, even though everybody else throughout Central Florida kind of hanging out today. We were shut down here a moment ago, but you could still see the delay in Tangelo Park between John Young Parkway and Greenbrier Parkway on Sand Lake. They just opened up some travel lanes. There was a pretty nasty crash out there. And then east of Astor on State Road 40, way up in our northeast area, State Road 40 off of Warrensford Road. But the rest of us pretty clear, 417. It's just the spotty stuff we need to be careful about with the wet roadways. The airport's still looking pretty nice.
Uh-oh. All right. I think Trooper Steve's signal got a little frozen there, but at least the roads are looking pretty nice right now. Like he said, most of the delays showing up around the attractions, and one delay out there in Kissimmee right now since school is not out today for Osceola County. But we want to head out to the Daytona 500 and the International Speedway, and News 6's Mark Lehman has been there all morning just watching for the latest updates on this rare double header. So let's take a look at what happened this weekend and what we're looking forward to today because of those weather delays.
A rain-soaked weekend left thousands of NASCAR fans with not much to do in Daytona Beach.
I know today is not what any of us had planned or expected.
Speedway President Frank Kelleher saying because of the wet weather, the weekend's biggest races were postponed. That means a first-ever doubleheader is in store. The Xfinity Series opener is now set for this morning, followed by the Daytona 500.
We are doing our best to enjoy our time in Florida in rainy weather.
Melissa Roy and Darcy Burke say they won't be able to stay for the races because of their long trip home.
hoping to get back to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, so that we can listen to the races on the 5-hour ride home.
The last time the Daytona 500 was postponed a full day was in 2012. 8 years later, 20 laps were completed before rain brought things to a halt and the race resumed the next day. While the rain ruined plans for many this year, others are sticking it out and looking forward to the green flags.
It kind of puts a little bit of a sour taste to it, but we know it's coming tomorrow, so we just got to wait one more day.
And Mark is out there live this morning. What are things like out there? Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Bridget. Yeah, it's been raining pretty much all morning long, but it has let up a bit within the last couple of hours. It's lightened up, but it's still drizzling just a little bit here in Daytona Beach, and that's a concern when we're talking about a doubleheader that's going to be starting just a few hours from now.
And you know that Candace was talking about like how they brought in extra dryer trucks and how all that works, because it's not a quick process even after you bring those out to try to dry things off, and if it's still raining there's no use.
Yeah, that's the thing is that it takes probably at least 90 minutes to dry the track off, but it could take 3 to 4 hours.
A rain-soaked weekend left thousands of NASCAR fans with not much to do in Daytona Beach.
I know today.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, it could take 3 to 4 hours depending on how wet the track actually is for it to completely dry off. And they're not going to start that process until it actually stops raining. Right now, we're still drizzling at this time. So when they start is a big question right now. And will there be enough time for the officials here to get that done before the Xfinity race starts at 11 this morning?
Yeah, and it takes hours to run these races. So, I mean, even with good conditions, this is going to be a long day.
Oh, yeah, definitely a long day. I mean, hey, if you're in a NASCAR, I mean, this is great for you because you get a doubleheader. You got the Xfinity race starting at 11, the Daytona 500 at 4 o'clock, and so you could be in store for hours and hours of racing out here in Daytona.
Yeah, I would imagine many people are trying to figure out a way to take President's Day off because of everything that's happened. But like you said, if you have a ticket to one, you're getting a 2-for-1 now, and maybe even pick your seat out, right?
Yeah, the president here at Daytona International Speedway said basically that if you have a ticket to get in, you're good for both races. And now there might be some bleed over between the two, but he was telling people to just kind of, use patience with that, be kind to whoever you're sitting near, and if someone has that ticket, maybe move to the seat next to where you're sitting to allow them to allow everyone to enjoy the race at the same time, because there's going to be plenty of room inside, because it's definitely not going to be a packed house with it being delayed a day, and also with the conditions that we saw over the weekend, because there's simply a lot of people who aren't able to make it today that were planning on being here over the weekend. So it's definitely not going to be a packed house, but there still might be a good amount of people inside.
Yeah, and like the people in the story, they're headed back, and it is bittersweet. But those who have that flexibility in their schedule to hang out today really get the best of both worlds, to have that extra space and get a double header. So even if things are able to run on time, when would they finish up tonight?
Well, it all depends on how the race goes, because we've seen in races past, it depends on if there's any crashes during the race.
True.
That could delay things. So we're talking about probably at least, I would say 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5, could be longer depending on how things go. But it starts at 4. It's not going to be ending until after it's dark out here in Daytona Beach.
Are you able to tell if there are lots of people, holding over, like with the RVs or anything like that, or is that in a different area?
From our vantage point, we can't really see. That's mainly in the infield.
It's pretty quiet where you are.
Speedway here behind me. Yeah, pretty quiet where I'm at. I've seen a few people milling around, but still pretty early. But the gates, I think they're open right now. I believe that the gates open at 7 this morning, and they're going to allow people to start tailgating at 10, and then the race starts at 11.
Yeah, it's a little surreal because it looks nothing like a Daytona 500 day when you think about it, and just how rare this is.
Yeah, definitely. It's usually packed out here very early in the morning. People camp out in the infield. They get out here to secure to the spots early, and they'll be tailgating all morning long. And seeing much of that going on right now, but again, still early. People are, I think, just getting over the weekend. It's just been such a blah weekend with the weather and everything. So,
So are you going to hang out there and
see
see if they bring out the trucks?
Yeah, we're gonna hang out for a little bit. Of course, we're gonna have crews out here throughout the day, just be bringing everyone the latest about how the races are going, if they actually start on time, and if this goes off as planned after the postponement this weekend.
Now, what if you're able to come out there? Can you try to get a ticket now, like last minute, or what would that look like?
Yeah, tickets are still available. That's what the Speedway president said.
Okay.
You can still go online. I believe under this story on our website on Quick Orlando,
okay,
we have a link to where you can purchase tickets if you haven't yet. And so, like I said, there should be still plenty of seats available for people who want to get a last-minute ticket. If maybe if you didn't have any plans for this President's Day, this would be a good way to spend it.
Yeah, I think it will be a treat for many people who maybe hadn't been planning to go or not expecting to do this today. It will be a nice surprise. So. All right, well, be safe, and we'll check in with you a little later and see you at noon.
All right, sounds good, Bridget.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with a little bit more news for you. All right, we're going to go ahead now. We have a story from our Treasure Roberts this morning, and this is pretty interesting. There was a shocking mix-up in Daytona Beach at a cemetery there. Some loved ones, turns out, were buried in the wrong grave sites, and Treasure explains that at least one family says that this has left them traumatized.
Alicia Smith was born at Halifax Hospital in Daytona Beach. 52 years later, her body was laid to rest right across the street at Greenwood Cemetery.
People are here in a state of depression, in a state of stoicism. This is the final resting place. Yet it wasn't.
Attorney Raquel Levy is representing Smith's mother, Pamela Hall. She says 3 days after Smith's casket was lowered into the ground, Hall came back to the cemetery to a disturbing sight.
So instead of coming and paying respects to her daughter's grave, she finds the casket out of the ground and no answers were given to her.
And how do you feel about the fact that they truly just hid it? And if she did not show up that day, she would have never known.
Correct. I think that's horrible. And I think that that's not fair to the family, that's not fair to the community, and it's disrespectful.
Levy sent the cemetery this notice on January 31st requesting answers. If she doesn't receive a response by March 1st, Levy says she will be filing a lawsuit on behalf of the family. Levy learned Smith's grave wasn't the only one disturbed. Her casket was swapped with the casket of Kevin James Jr., a soon-to-be father who died around the same time.
This is not a small mistake to bury somebody in the wrong spot, pull them out, and had the family not found out, it's entirely possible that the family would have been paying respects to a body that didn't even belong to their family. It's unconscionable.
How is she feeling right now?
Horrible. My client feels absolutely horrible. She feels anxious, she feels depressed, she feels like her daughter is not at rest.
And that was Treasure Roberts reporting. Of course, we'll keep you updated with any new developments in that story. And now to the latest in Schemes and Ripoffs. News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld has this story about a woman who received a notice that money had come out of her savings account and gone into some new investment accounts, but she didn't move that money. So he lets you know what to look out for to protect your money in this latest installment of Schemes and Ripoffs.
Hack is the wrong word. We were robbed.
Imagine $27,000 stolen from their credit union savings account in a blink of an eye.
All the attacks happen right after the bank opens. It's 9:30, 9:42, 9:37.
The victims want to keep their identities out of this.
The stress level is unbelievable. I mean, I found him walking in circles.
The stress isn't about the money. Their credit union paid it back in full. It's the unexpected twist.
Do you have an account with Merrill Lynch?
No.
That's right, a notice from Merrill Lynch. Not once, but twice. Accounts opened with an address that is different from your primary address.
So I said, well, what name? And they said, what's your name and your social security?
Your name, your social security?
Yes.
Is it unique?
It isn't unique. Just because we've had so many breaches over the last 15 years throughout the country.
Special Agent in Charge Caroline O'Brien Buster of the U.S. Secret Service says consumers need to review their accounts daily, use two-factor authentication, and never use public Wi-Fi to check your account.
If you do see fraud, you have to be able to have a financial institution that you can go to and say, hey, this was fraudulent, and that they make you whole.
Mike Hofeld getting results, News 6.
Some good advice there. Thank you, Mike. And now we want to tell you about NASA. Looking to get away? Well, NASA is looking for people who want to know what it's like to live on Mars without launching into space. They are looking for 4 people to participate in their next year-long simulated Mars surface mission. So if selected, you would live in a 1,700 square foot habitat for 12 months and complete simulated spacewalks and other activities. And you must be between 30 to 55 and a non-smoker. And we've posted all the details, including a link to the application on clickorlando.com. Just look for the article on your homepage. And for those, who are overstimulated, that probably sounds pretty nice. Just your own 1,700 square foot space for 12 months and just focusing on getting your steps in and doing some other activities. And so, I lost my earring there. But anyway, check that out again at clickorlando.com on the homepage so you can get in that simulated Mars mission. Well, WKMG is hitting the road. If you haven't heard, we are going all over Central Florida, coming straight to your community to do the news. And we want to hear from you about the issues in your community, the hidden gems in your community, and a lot of those legendary stories that make your neck of the woods so special. So we're starting with 32825 in East Orange County. And before we head out there, we want to hear from people in 32825. So if you live there, you know someone who lives in 32825, let us know, because we're looking for those unsung heroes. And again, just those special things that make your home unique. So let us know what needs to be improved as well. We want all the tea. And you can make your voice heard at clickorlando.com/hitstheroad, or scan that QR code with your camera phone and click the link to take you there. And drop us a note and some contact information. We want to hear from you. Maybe you'll be a part of that special newscast when we come to 32825. So we look forward to seeing you there. Well, that's going to do it for us this morning. We'll be back with more news and weather on WKMG News 6 at noon. I'll see you there along with Candace for the latest news and weather updates. In the meantime, clickorlando.com for the updates. And we'll head on over to WeatherWise here on News 6 Plus in just a few minutes. Have a great day.